I'm going to try to convince you to get out of those big cities, get out of Moscow, get out of St. Petersburg, find yourself some land and build your house. I'm going to give you updates on my friend's build, on my build, and just overall life stuff, okay? Stay tuned and please remember to subscribe. Thank you. You can see that Lake Baikal is behind me, and today we are coming back to you from my friend's build. This build is on the shores of Lake Baikal. You've seen it come from nothing, and I'm going to show you what it looks like now inside. I'm going to be talking about building in Russia and why it's better to move away from those large cities and come somewhere to a small town or a small village even, especially when you have beautiful views like this. Let's go. One of the earliest things that we recorded was the top area. The top area didn't have this entire porch or balcony walking area fixed at the time. It's still not finished, but the other thing that was not finished up here was the roof. The roof was not fully formed, and now that it is, you can essentially already do a little bit of barbecue up here. You can chill up here. The roof is finished and it is in great condition. It's already past its first winter and it's held strong. You can see that the material used, it probably is a lot thicker than the material used in the United States. That is because the wood here has to carry a larger load. It's going to be snowing for a lot longer and it has to be able to survive these long winters. Have a quick look at the views from the second floor of this awesome little hotel that they're building on the shores of Baikal. What we're looking at here is 3 modular homes that are stacked, right? These 2 first bottom are side to side, and there's a third modular on top. That is gonna be 3. Each one is a different color, it's a different design, and it's a different vibe. As you can see, I'm standing here on the front walkway pathing. This also was in here, and it's in the stages of being finished. You know, already as I'm walking in, it looks way different, and I said I was going to show you the building process. And I have to say, it is really cool to be able to see how much work has been done and what it looks like now. And let's go ahead and show some of those clips right now of the building process.
Она скважина такая, ее прокачивать же надо.
The price for one modular home this size is 500,000 rubles, or about $6,000. I'll have the conversion on the screen for you. And it's important for you to know, because if you move to a smaller town, or if you move to a town like this one especially, you're gonna have those options of being able to build your own home. And actually, with 2 of these, you can live well off. You can make a kitchen, you can make a 1 room, but if you have 3, that's 1,500,000 rubles, and the exchange again will be on the screen. So imagine this, you buy 3 of these modulars, you put them together like you've seen already here, and you can buy some land, and that's how you start your new life. A lot of you guys are living in houses that cost $400,000 in America, $700,000 in America. If you were to sell those houses, buy some land, you can retire off the rest of your money. When we received these modulars, they had no paint on them. It was just drywall. They had no texture. They hadn't been fixed. All the electric was being ran, and it looked a little bit unfinished, obviously. But now you can see that there's a texture to it. It has a really cool color, this metallic style gray shining from the lower gray on the inside. Overall, when you receive these, wall work is going to be one major thing that you're going to have to be doing, and they did it here, but also where I'm standing. All right, you can put tile, and the heating on this floor you saw in the building video is the electric hoses that run the liquid inside, and it warms the floor. That is very good for this region because electricity is very cheap. You know that for me, I pay about $2 to $3 a month for electricity. So if you build a home in a region where electricity is pretty cheap, you can sustain yourself. What do you guys think about this floor and the walls? It's coming together. The tiling is really nice, and there's one more major thing that you have to do in these type of modulars is lighting. You can see up here they've chose different types of lighting, and it really is adding to the aura of this building because the main attraction here is Lake Baikal. You always have Lake Baikal right at your doorstep. Look at this. Could you imagine visiting this place? On one of the previous videos, I talked about this back wall. And as you notice, the top lighting and electric is all done, but this is still not done because this back wall is going to be painted with a mural of a local mountain, like it's called Shamanca here, and it's a holy site around Lake Baikal. So they brought an artist who's barely starting their work. This is going to be where your bed is. Could you imagine? And I already showed you, you're going to be looking at that door with Lake Baikal only about 40 meters away, 50 meters away at most. Now, would you be willing to move to a small town? Comment down below, because a lot of you guys want to go to Moscow, St. Petersburg, but why not choose a village that's closer to a town and a city? When you get tired of being in nature, you can drive yourself to the city, when a lot of people usually live in cities and have to drive out to nature to try to heal. I think this is the better option, but you let me know in the comment section as we continue the tour. We're inside of the unfinished shower, and honestly, it's a nice walk-in shower. The door is going to be put there. This is going to be connecting here, and it's going to have the hose mounted somewhere so you can shower yourself. You don't really see good bathrooms built in Russia. For some reason, they don't really build good bathrooms. I believe a walk-in shower like this, a toilet next to it, and somewhere to wash your hands is really good. A lot of the apartments that I live in, they don't have somewhere to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom. You have to go to the bathtub to wash your hands. It's not going to be like that in this room because the toilet's going to be here and you'll be able to wash your hands when you're done. This is something that you don't often see in the apartments that you rent in Russia. I may be wrong in other regions, but in this region, definitely it's what I see. A finished building of this type is going to cost you around 1.7 million to 2 million rubles. But that's a finished product, obviously, with the toilet, with your flooring done, with your roof done, with your ceiling done. Is this something that you think is worth it? I'll obviously have the conversion rate on the screen, but you're looking at about $20,000 for your full modular done on the edges of Lake Baikal. I'm not trying to sell these. I'm just saying you could build something like this. Is it worth it to you? Now remember, this is an ongoing project. We've made many videos on this. You can look at those videos down in the description below. But now it's time to head over to my project. I want to talk a little bit about what I have going on my plot and how much I've invested on my plot with my wife. And we're going to continue this idea of moving out of the cities and finding yourself a nice town that has everything you need. Because I guarantee you here, you would have more than enough nature, more than enough beautiful views and things to do. Remember the views that we showed you in the beginning. Okay, these are things that you can't find anywhere else in the world. These are many towns are settled on the shores of Lake Baikal. And let's go back to mine in Slyudanka and show you our project over there. Now we made it to our plot, and in the next couple weeks we are going to be digging for the foundation. We were testing the grounds not too long ago on this area, and the house is going to be 19 meters by 10 meters. We're gonna have 3 rooms, and I'll show you the layout again. We decided to finalize the layout because we really want to get this foundation started this year. Obviously, we want to be digging for water, and we'll be digging the septic. This is just the foundation, the water, and the septic this year. That is the goal. I don't think that we should be rushing ourselves. We have the baby on the way, and we have to budget ourselves on how much we could do. The baby is definitely more important than finishing the house because, you know, in this town we do have an apartment that we live in. Well, we rent it, but it's still better to worry about the baby rather than the house. You already know that the pride and joy of our property is this big gate and the fence itself. And a lot of people always complain and say, hey, why didn't you build it like this? Why is it so ugly? Because it's metal. Guys, you're not the ones who are living next to the wilderness. You never know what's going to be coming down here. And I'd rather have a reinforced wall. Our plot is just big enough to where you can see the nature around us. If you look over here towards the mountains, you're going to see that once you're in here, you can see out. Right? And people could still see in, but we don't care. What we wanted was a well-built wall. This gate here is 6 meters wide. It opens beautifully. There is nothing that it rolls on, so even if it snows, it's not going to be getting stuck anywhere. I wanted it built this way because I thought, okay, when I'm 60 years old, 70 years old, I don't feel like shoveling snow or sending my kids to go shovel snow when it could be much easier. They can get their licks doing other things. Having to shovel to be opening a gate is not one of those things that I want to be able, not those things that I want to worry about. So we have obviously the gate and we have this door. So if you want to go outside, you don't have to open the gate. You can just use the door. We spent about $2,500 on this fence, the foundation and the gate. And it wasn't here before, right? And it's something that really adds stability to a property. It doesn't look abandoned. It looks like we're getting ready to build. The land cost us $10,000. I mentioned this before. And as you saw in my friend Alexei's building project, if you buy a plot of land, by the way, this is 12 sotka. This is 1,200 square meters. If you buy a property this big, you can build whatever you want and you can start a new life in these small towns. It's much easier, in my opinion, if you have the funds to do it. I have to do it slowly, but a lot of you guys are in good professions or you're retired and you have way more capital than me and you can invest in yourself. Remember, living in these smaller towns, you can bring your health back. You can have the nature around you. And if you ever want to go have your fun in the cities, you can drive to the cities. The nearest city is 1 hour and a half from us. It's not that far. So you can get to the city, enjoy yourself, and come back to your sleepy little town. As some of you know, this here is not a house. This is a shed that we're using. And I've actually used it for doing barbecues. I go and chill in there sometimes. And this shed is going to be taken down in the future. And this is going to be the future banya. The foundation is very good. It's going to be half banya, half barbecue. So when we have visitors over, we can chill in the banya and the house would be located on that side. This area is very, very big, very comfortable. But for now, this is going to be staying here. And it doesn't bother us. It actually helps us a lot. It's a place of refuge if we need it. Now, I want to show you guys the most important reason why you should consider moving to a small town, why I believe you should not be sticking to Moscow or St. Petersburg or even Irkutsk. Okay, I think that what I'm going to show you is going to convince you why smaller towns are much better than cities. And about 10 minutes from our plot, we have this magnificent view. As you guys know, I live next to Lake Baikal, and well, the lake is here, and the surrounding mountains will have snow, and that melted snow feeds over 300 rivers into this ginormous pool. Now, if this doesn't convince you to leave those cities and come to smaller towns, I don't know what will. Of course, the weather here, we have 4 seasons, but you're starting to see the nature get its green back. And I think that stations, right, having the seasons really builds for a better life, in my opinion. But definitely smaller towns slowing down, being next to nature. This is a natural wonder here. This is the largest lake in volume, more freshwater than the Great Lakes put together in our backyard. Now, I'm not saying everybody should move to Slyudanka or Kultuk or Baikalsk or Listvianka, but what I am saying is find your small town, find your happiness. The nature around the lake is unmatched. It is unbelievable and so unique. You can see that there are small towns that I mentioned. They are settled on the shores there. That is my town of Slyudanka. And the weather is so fantastic lately that their people are already out on the beach. Incredible. What do you guys think about our beautiful town here? What do you think about our beaches next to Baikal? We're taking this walk essentially in our backyard, 10 minutes away, like I said. Ksenia is going to take some photos of some flowers, and I'm just here making sure that she's okay. But look, all of this is coming back to life. It was dormant during winter, and it eventually will be all green, filled with flowers. The sky is so beautiful. The sun is shining for us. Now, like I say, Ksenia loves taking photos of nature. You can follow her on her Instagram. I'll tag it in the video, and I'll show you a little bit of what she does, a little bit of photos. Now I'm gonna get to do what I love to do when I'm out here, is do a little fishing. We're not trying to catch a fish, we're trying to relax, but a fish is a bonus. And just after I got done recording that, we caught a small pike. This is a shuka, and we let them go so they can grow. There it goes. We'll see you on the next video.